Hi guys, it's Z, and I am coming to you guys today with another deep video. Um, I am inspired by none other than God Himself to put out this message to you all, and this is going to be quite controversial. I do expect to have, quite a few people probably not talk to me anymore after this video. But I don't really care. Because I feel like if you truly love me and, respect me as a person, then my views should not change the way you feel about me. Like, the way that I see life should not change. You shouldn't be like, oh, I ain't trying to be her friend no more because she think like that, because everybody's their own individual and everybody thinks the way that they want to. Okay, but let's get to it, okay? So, this video is about heaven and hell. Yes, okay. So, in coming up as a child, I was always very inquisitive, always wanted to know the how and why of the universe. Like, how did it all come to be? God in all His wonderful glory, like, just why and how. You understand? I wanted to know the intimate details about that connection that you were supposed to have with God. Because from birth, I guess, to I was around maybe 8 or 9, my parents were Baptists. And then from 9 and to the continuation, they were Jehovah's Witnesses, are Jehovah's Witnesses. And so I kind of got to see both sides. And I say sides because in religion there are sides, okay? You're on one side, Baptists one side, Christians on another side, Catholics on another side, Muslims on So you're on sides, which is crazy to me because, and we're going to get into the religion aspect later, okay? Let's get into that later. And coming up and seeing the dualities of sides, because Jehovah's Witnesses call every other religion Christendom. Church, everything is just false. So, but this is one thing that everybody is consistent with, that there is a heaven and a hell. Now, everybody is consistent with this because they are following the same book, which is the Bible. And yes, she has some things to say about that too, and we're going to get on that, but probably not in this video. Maybe, who knows, we'll see. Okay, so heaven and hell. Heaven is this alleged place where when you pass away, die, that's where you go. You go to heaven, and that's where God is, and Jesus is supposed to be there, and all your family, cats and everything, everybody is there waiting for you. There are these pearl gates, and there are angels standing on the side, outside with these golden harps and trumpets and things like that. These are the things that I was told, raised on. This is what, everybody knows. Okay, well, when you pass on, you go to God and the pearly gates, okay? Now, in hell is the place where you go and you burn forever and ever, okay? You're in a fiery pit, and you just are burned all day, every day, for all eternity. As a child, I was suspicious of this, okay? Because I'm like, if your body is not there, how do you burn a spirit when that's just a constant moving energy? How do you do that? I didn't get it. And so nor did I understand, where is this alleged heaven place and hell? Okay? Because if these are things on earth, somebody somewhere should be able to get there physically. Now, if this is a spiritual thing, place, and nobody can see it in the earthly realm, still, where is this place? Okay? That's what I want to know. And I've asked this question, oh gosh, so many times to so many different denominations of religion, and nobody can tell me. They all say, that's where God is, and, that's where Jesus is, and he's up in heaven. Okay, so where is heaven? Where? Is it in the earthly realm? Is it in earth? Or is it outside of earth in space? I'm just curious to know where heaven is. And my search for the answer to that question, and the question of where is hell, God sent me on a journey. And when I first went through this journey, and I first came out with the knowledge that I'm about to share with you, I was very, very scared to talk about it, to anybody. Because I'm like, who is going to believe this? I am just one woman with one voice. And everybody, whether you are Christian, Buddhist, whatever, everybody has been raised on when you pass away, you go to heaven if you were good. And if you don't, you go to hell. So everybody's been raised up on this, and here you have this one woman coming and saying, all that stuff y'all was taught, all y'all millions and billions of people who were misled, as was I, before I decided to take myself on this deep journey to find out the truth. It's overwhelming to be given a task so great, but then it's not overwhelming in a bad way. It's overwhelming to me that God loves me so much, and he thinks so highly of me, that he would give me such grand knowledge, such perfect, pure knowledge, and entrust me with the task of getting it out to you all. I have thought about this, and when I actually sit and think about what he wants me to do, it makes me really, I have on several occasions just broken down and cried, because God's perfect in everything. And to think that the source that created all we know, the universe, this earth, just all we know, and even things we don't know, that he loves me and he thinks so highly of me that he whispered in my ear what I'm about to tell you. And he knows that I'm going to do it. And so the message is that there is no such place as heaven or hell. Okay? You don't leave this existence because no one dies. You leave one existence and go on to the next. When you leave that existence, now this is what is meant of heaven and hell. Okay? These places are not literal places to go. Okay? Because to say that God is in heaven, that means that heaven is bigger than God. Do you get it? In order for God to be inside of something for his totality of existence, that means that one thing is bigger than him. There's nothing greater than God. Okay? Nothing. Nothing. So when you say, okay, so where is he? He's everywhere. Everywhere. Not just in this one location, sitting there waiting for people to go on to their next existence and come up there and sing. That's not what happens. What is meant of that is this. When you are truly believing and wanting of a deep connection with God, and believing without shadow of a doubt that he is real and that he governs everything. And when you are in tune with him spiritually, when your soul is actually connected to him and you can speak to him and receive his love, and you accept everything that goes on in your life as a lesson from him, when you go on to your next existence, you still have that deep connection. You still feel that immense love that God has for you. And you still have that connection to where he's letting you know where you go on to your next existence. And that connection, that deep connection that you have with God, and that you leave one existence and go to the next, that peacefulness that allows you to continue on to your journey, that is heaven. Heaven is a state of being, not a place, okay? It's not a place where you go. It's a state of being. Your connection with God is so deep that it is heavenly. It is peaceful. It is bliss. It is the ultimate bliss. And that's why people say you experience heaven on earth. Because it's a feeling. It's not a place. Because if it was a place, you could not experience heaven on earth, because that's not where it is. And hell is when you are disconnected from God. When you spend all of your days saying, oh, there ain't no God. And you spend all your time doing evil things and hateful things and spiteful things. And people, oh, you're going to hell. It's not that you're going to hell. It's that your connection with God is not there. So that when you leave this earthly existence, your connection is lost. Okay? You are lost. You are no longer a human in this life. And so what you are now is just a spirit out there without any guidance from anybody, because the people that you were following and listening to and being a part of, saying, oh, there wasn't no God and there is no life after this earth, when you finally realize it, when you're on the other side, that crap, there is something after earthly life, and now what am I going to do? And you're just out there, your spirit. That's hell. Because you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do now with this new space that you have. Now you're in this new space. You are no longer in human form. And so you do not know what's going on, where you're going, what's going on. You have no clue of any of this. And that kind of fear is hell. Hell, okay? So that's what it's meant. It's a state of being. When you are disconnected from God, it is hell. Because you're lost. You don't know what's going on. Everything around you, nothing makes sense. And you have no clue as to what to do. That's hell. You ever been somewhere lost and you just have no idea where you're going, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And you feel as though you are completely helpless, hopeless. Your cell phone don't work, text and everything. You're in a bad location, and all you can do is, God, help me. And you're waiting and waiting and waiting. Waiting. That's what is meant of that. It is a state of being. Not a physical place that you go to. Okay? Please understand that. It is not a physical place. So for all those who think that, oh, my loved one is passed and now they're in heaven waiting on me, I am so sorry to tell you that that's not true. That's not true. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I don't want to seem insensitive. But that is the reality of it. There is no heaven. Heaven is a state of being. Now, I am not saying that your relatives who have went on to their next existence may not be somewhere waiting for you, but they are not in heaven waiting for you. They are in whatever existence God saw fit to put them in next. And should it be God's will that you meet again, you will. Trust me, you will. You know, people don't believe in reincarnation and they don't believe in that. But how many times have you had deja vu? Or how many times have you ran into somebody that you've never met before, but you just feel so strongly connected to them for some reason? That's because that is probably someone who has come back from your life that has went on to another existence. They left you at, in the beginning at one existence, and then they came back around. And so you're like, oh my gosh, that person looks so familiar. And you form a relationship and you don't know how you got so close, but you just got so close and now you're like inseparable. That's the way that God works. And I am really upset with pastors, preachers, everybody for being so misleading. Because if you study this Bible book, oh, and trust me, yes, I did the Bible because we're going to get on that seriously. Not in this video, but trust me, we're going to get on it. But I feel bad that so many people have been misled to believe that this heaven and hell place is actually a physical place where you go. Because it's a bad misconception, and it's bad to play with people's minds like that. You need to give them the reality of the situation, because once you realize and you accept that there is no heaven and that there are no pearly gates and everything, like, you can begin to accept the totality of the truth itself about life, that you are a spirit. So once you accept that and really try to figure out to the core your deep connection with God, it will be easier for you to accept the passing of somebody else. Even though I know it's hard. I know that it is hard. But once you realize that this is not the end, that you don't die and go to heaven and that's it. Once you realize that you just go from one existence to the next, it will be easier, because when your spirit is connected to God and that person's spirit is connected to God, once you are all in the spiritual realm, like when you leave this existence and you go on to your next existence, it is quite possible for God to link you two back up, or for you two to find each other spiritually and still be connected. And that too feels like heaven. So it's not a physical place. It is a state of being. So when someone else goes on to the next existence, excuse me for being so tongue-tied, but when somebody goes on to their next existence, it's said that they left this one, yes, because you love people and they mean a lot to your life, and they're just great. People are. But when they go on, please understand that you can be so connected that even though you are still in your earthly form, you can connect to that person still. And a lot of people think of this as, oh, you're talking to ghosts and all this other stuff. It's not that aspect of it. If you're conjuring up evil, that's one thing. But if your spirit is connected to someone and God is allowing that connection to still be strong and allowing you all to communicate, that's a blessing. And it's not no horrible thing like a lot of people would like for you to believe. I don't know any church, group, religious organization who willingly talks about having that spiritual connection and talking to one who has gone on to their next existence after the fact. Because they all pump this whole heaven and hell thing, and then they don't tell you about that deep connection that you can still have with that loved one that's went on to their next existence. Because This universe is grand, and nothing is so simple as you die and you go to heaven and that's it. And then everybody dies and go to heaven, and now heaven is just packed. That's so just... God is intricate, very detailed, very. It's not as simple as you die and go to heaven. No. It's you leave one existence and you go to the next, and in between all of that, you are still a spirit. And you still have the ability to do things. You have the ability to do things. And we're going to talk about those things in another video, because I'm going to wrap this up because I am 20 minutes over into it. Okay, so yeah, you guys, I really hope that you watch this video and that you have open mind and open hearts and really hear what I'm saying, because the things that I'm saying, I'm not trying to do anything other than get God's message out. And this is the truth that he wanted me to reveal to you all. And whether you accept it or not, whether you pass it on to someone else or not, I did my part. And I am glad that I did my part. I'm really glad that I got that out of my system and off my chest, because it has been on my mind for a while now to do. And, you know, I don't want to let God down. I don't want to let him down, because he is so ever present in my life. You know, I'm here right now. I'm here. I'm talking to you all, you know. So, you know, me still being in my earthly form in this earthly realm is a message to me from him that I still have work to do. And I'm going to do it. And probably later on today, or later on this week, I will do the video for the Bible. Oh my gosh. This video is going to ruffle a lot of feathers, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm doing what God tells me to do. And if I do not do what he tells me to do, it is nobody's responsibility but my own for when I have to go to him and say, I didn't do it because I was worried about how people was going to look at me. I could care less how y'all look at me. Like, I love you all, but like at the end of I really could care less. You can look at me and be like, she crazy. I'm not ever talking to her again. And sweetie, trust, she will not lose any sleep. I'm still going to sleep good. Real good. And dream of you. That you would get your mind right. But, no, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Okay, but, you know, guys, I'm done with this video for today. So, I will see you guys later on, and we can talk about Bible and pastors and why you should not trust them. Oops. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.